What we do here is go back.
Welcome back to our podcast, Talk It Up with Cindy and Jerry. Hope you guys are doing well.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there?
So
first, I think the block party in our neighborhood was great.
Oh, that's right. This weekend was our block party. Our block has a yearly, and we talked about it. They have a yearly.
Well, they have two now.
They have two. Yeah.
They have a spring potluck.
They call it Spring Flings Potluck.
And then the fall one is still a potluck. But we do some grilling.
But we do some grilling, you know. Right. This year was a big success. We had a lot of neighbors.
We had a lot of people. New neighbors that we met.
A lot of new neighbors. And the food variety was insane.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was definitely
so much good food. So,
and the weather was really, really
good. Oh my gosh, the weather was great.
I
think we moved it up this year because I think not last year, the year before we had it a little bit later and we were kind of dodging acorns. That one, you remember?
Yes. But I recall I went out in the morning. I had jeans on.
Yeah, you came back.
I had to come back. I had to switch to shorts. For the Northeast people,
the people that were sitting at the other end of the block, they were cooking in the sun. They were like, "Oh my god, it's so hot!"
Yeah, it was a really great day, and it got cooler.
It did get cooler.
Yeah, the sun was out high noon. There was definitely from that 1 to 3, the sun was very out.
Yes,
it was very out. I don't know how, but it was out.
It was in full.
Yeah.
Power.
But once it started to move over,
it wasn't
you have
bad,
the trees over it. Yeah, it was
a good night.
And the music was good. Everybody said the music
was amazing.
I made the playlist.
But it was a good night when the block party doesn't end until almost 9:00 at night.
Yes.
One of our neighbors bought out these giant spotlights. Yeah. And just aimed them in the correct place.
I've said we should get some of those.
I know, they were pretty cool. Yeah, they actually, those were rechargeable ones that he says he has. Those are really cool. Yeah. It turned out pretty cool, the block party.
Turned out pretty good.
So our episode or our topic this
is what? We call it what? The midlife marriage crisis.
Midlife marriage crisis.
We changed it up this one because, again, we've got 35 years, coming on 35 years together.
Yeah, but we don't have a midlife marriage crisis.
We don't. But there are people.
But we've actually known people that, they go through their midlife crisis or whatever, break up, and then they get back together.
We've known people that just break up and they go separate ways.
Yes, and then
I always think it's the key right there is always communication. I mean, there's levels of the topics of the communication.
It's communication. It's boundaries. And it's also compromising.
Well, you know what it is? I think once you get to that 20, 30, when you're getting into those 30 years, I would say that 20 to 30, depending where you start.
Compromise on things because you're not going to agree on things.
No, it's not only that. I think you get into a routine. Those first 20 years, those first 15 years.
Well, when you're raising kids, you're going to get into a routine because you got to feed the kids, get them off to school, clean the house, do laundry, and then, you go off to work. So it becomes a cycle.
It's also the routine that you did in the first 5 years, then the kids come along. Okay. And I'm not saying you have to totally do a 360, but, there's that still where we went out.
Yes.
You go out, I go out. It wasn't as much as when we were raising the kids younger.
No.
But we still had it.
Yes.
Where I think some people get used to not going out because they're raising the kids.
They get focused on their kids and they forget about
They forget about going out. They forget about everything they did from the beginning of the relationship.
They forget about themselves.
Yes.
They focus more on the household and the children, and they forget about their...
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, when you're an adult and you're raising your kids, you forget to take care of your relationship.
Sure.
Or you forget... Like mothers, we also... Not only relationship, we forget to take care of ourselves. Because they always make fun of wives when, they're taking care of the kids and you look like a hot mess. Because you put yourself last, even for the fathers.
Right. Even the fathers do it.
Yeah, so that also takes precedence in your relationship.
Yes.
So if you don't focus on the relationship and you're too busy raising your kids, managing your accounts and everything else.
Well, there's a lot of running around. There's definitely...
Then you lose the red flags.
With kids...
You don't see the red flags, I mean.
There's the PTOs, there's the sports, and all of a sudden... that becomes the main focus. And as the kids, like our kids are older, one is finally going into high school, they forget all the other stuff. I think some people.
Yes.
Like for us, people see us and they go, "Wow, you guys go out." We don't go out all the time, but
no, we don't go out all the time.
No.
I mean, say we don't go out all the time.
No, I'm just saying. There are some people that I don't think they ever go out.
No. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we don't go out all the time. We try to manage our going out. Well, because 2 times, maybe 1 time a month.
Yeah. 2 times. I think,
and that's not including when we do things with the kids.
Absolutely. Like this weekend, I also went to the movies with the kids.
Yes.
We saw Transformers 1, which was a good movie.
No, I'm not also saying, because we do things with other couples and friends of ours, but we're talking about quality time by yourselves. People forget, because when you go out with other couples or friends, you're not really engaging with your partner because you're too busy.
Well, no, but you're socializing. I think it's still important to go out.
It is,
if it's you by yourselves or your couple,
time with your partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
To kind of rekindle or to stay connected,
stay vibrant,
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Because you can go out with your friends 4 or 5 times, right? But you're not spending time with your partner. Right. You're distracted because you're busy talking with your friends or whatever when you go out, and that sometimes doesn't help the relationship because you're too busy everywhere else to focus on what's going on with your significant other.
I think, well, again, it comes back to the communication. So when you go out,
yes,
that'd be Chili's, because we go out to Chili's. No, right? No, it's Chili's, right?
Yes, we do.
It's Chili's, because I don't like the other one.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Applebee's. But, if it be Chili's, Outback, or some other restaurant, or going into the city, that is the time that you're focusing on your relationship. The time that you're having the conversations.
Yes, because you can go out with other adults and you're really not having conversations with your partner because you're too busy in that socializing environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think alone time, and I'm not saying, alone time outside of the bedroom. I'm saying alone time going out, talking.
It could be Chili's.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be Chili's. You can just go for we went on the high walk on the
High Line.
And we talked and walked. Yeah. Sometimes you just need that, because...
we used to take drives in our early relationship. We used to take drives into the city.
And just talk and enjoy
drive around the
view.
city.
We don't do that as much anymore.
No, I mean,
gas prices are expensive. But it helps to guide the relationship, I think.
Yes. Well, I think another thing is...
especially as you get older.
Is the financial cost. A lot of times, finances can be a huge hiccup in a relationship.
So they say money can make a relationship or marriage happy. I don't think money... it does add stress to it.
Adds stress. Absolutely.
But
I would say...
Sometimes even when you don't have the money, you make the best out of it.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying money can cause issues. If you got bills piling up, medical bills, any of those type of bills, and you're not
communicating with your partner about it,
right? And all of a sudden the phone rings or whatever. Yeah, that's going to cause stress.
Will cause issues.
Absolutely. Yes. There are times that you've heard these stories where the person did not. Well, listen, the comic book collection. I just showed you that article.
Yes.
They were in financial dire. This guy had like vaults of comic books worth thousands, some of them millions of dollars.
And never said anything.
Right. Yeah. So again, if you don't communicate, even on the financial part,
no, you're right.
That puts stress because you're gonna see a lot of us come in, past due notice, what's going on. Don't worry about it. I got it. And then all of a sudden the second notice.
That situation. It can
absolutely. So it comes always to me is the communication on the relationship, and.
It's not only communication, like I said. It's also boundaries. You give each other boundaries. And then there's also compromises.
That's still communication.
Communication is fine, but compromising
how am I going to know about the compromise
things,
without the communication?
Yes, communication is always key. But you guys can talk all you want, and if one person does not bend at things that you don't agree at.
Okay, that's different. Okay, so I'm still saying, if you had to put it in a circle.
Okay.
Communications in the center. You can put all these outlining areas. Finance, compromise, bedroom. It's still in the heart of it, communication to me. Mm-hmm. It just, It has different
part
paths.
of one of the branches.
Right. If you have a compromise and say, hey, you know what, I'm tired of the winery scenes, or I'm tired of the brewery scenes, and you don't communicate, or you tell me and I don't compromise to say, hey, you know what, instead of the breweries, we'll definitely go to the wineries now and stuff. Like for me, I still want to go to the oldest winery in America is actually up in New York State.
I'm okay with going to the winery.
No, I'm just saying, you know. So I think, you know, those conversations are what moves a relationship forward.
Yes.
If you don't have that communication, if it's bills,
yes,
bedroom,
communication and goals. You also have to have goals.
Oh, absolutely. I think goals are important. If you don't, you know,
strive for goals together.
Yes. Or sometimes you don't meet those goals and talk about why you don't meet those goals. And that could be a range of things. I mean, sometimes that could be, I mean, in the past, that was vacation. We just didn't have it. I'm sorry. We just...
we did staycations.
No, we have, because we live right here, but I'm saying you have to have that conversation that, hey, we're just not going to be able to do Disney. Or, you know what, instead of Disney, we've done the Busch Gardens. We drive down. Yeah. We've hung out there for a couple of days, do Williamsburg.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So...
Okay, you're right. It's all... Communication is the main hub.
No, it's just... To me, sorry. It's that hub... Maybe we should draw like a circle of it. But,
diagram?
The diagram, pie chart. But I think, you know, it could be bedroom. I think there was a point where, correct me if I'm wrong, when the books, Christian Grey?
Yes.
When Christian, what was that, in the mid-2010s, 15, somewhere around there?
I think so, around that time, yeah.
When those books came out,
yes,
relationships were definitely on the uptake. Because they were
Let
reading these books.
It. Let me just clarify. Women were reading smut, and they needed to find a way to release everything they were absorbing from these books.
Right.
So,
except for that one guy. That one guy we heard on the radio that the guy said it broke the relationship because she wanted to do all these things.
And he didn't.
He didn't. He was like, I'm not into that stuff. Yeah. I can't handle that. But I think in that
his own.
Right. I think there was a huge uptake in improving relationships. Opening, doors.
I think women got curious.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
So again, it comes back again to
communication.
No, I mean communication, but it's even in the bedroom. That communication in the bedroom of what we did in the past, what we're doing now, and what we not doing, because sometimes people just get into this rut, just like going out or going to the movies of the same.
Or when you get into a rut, sometimes you get comfortable in that rut.
Yeah, sure.
And
it's like easier. It's like the pair of jeans.
It's easy to stay in that rut.
They fit especially for guys, and I've had them. She's like at the point where I'm gonna burn those jeans. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They're baggy. They do nothing for your backside.
Yeah.
They're about 5 years old. I'm like, but they're great. Yeah, they're broken in. They're worn.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, it's not like girls' jeans. When we wear them and break them in, they look hot.
No, but I'm just saying,
so you're looking... It. Yes, right. I'm getting it.
It's hey, you've got to make that change. Okay. For guys, it doesn't. It becomes like this just baggy, lagging jeans, and you throw them on, you're like, hey, everything's good, But, I mean, for that case, even dressing, there was a point where you say, hey, you got to start buying.
Well, I'm also on him about, getting in shape.
Right.
But
I was talking about the dressing.
Yeah, I know. I did. I hassled you
that
about
was a couple of years back that you actually had that conversation.
I was like, dude, step up your game. He's like, well, what? I was like, you work at a different place now.
I do, yeah.
You got to step up your game. And he's like, you just want me to spend money. No.
It does. It comes back again. I got to spend money to buy clothes.
My mom always told me, always put your best foot forward.
Yes.
Always dress to impress. Don't matter where you're going. Even if you go to the store. Don't wear holy shirts or anything. My mom was always,
I don't understand how people go.
But there are men like that.
Well, it's both sides.
Yeah,
both sides. We go to a Walmart or a Target, and they're like,
rag on him about that.
So there's that level of wow, that person went out and didn't look in the mirror. But then you have some of the others, especially women, they're going to Target with heels. I'm like, who are you looking for in Target? That's not you. So there's that middle of the ground where you shouldn't wear that going outside.
But this is where communication is key, and the spouse should be like, hey, babe, are we going to a club or something right after Target? Well, why you got the heels on?
I guess.
But there are some women that have to wear heels all the time, so they have to iterate that to their man, that they're Don't. Never mind. The way they have to walk, they have to wear heels all the time, and they can't wear sneakers because they trip. So they have to communicate that with their man.
I guess.
I know I'm straying a little bit.
No, that's fine. That's communication. I guess the guy's got to understand that. Because I would, if you went with me to heels, and I know you don't do it, and going to Target, I'm like, babe, we're just going to Target. What are you doing? I just wanted to wear heels. Okay, I can take you somewhere this weekend if you want to wear heels. But again, communication is key.
We've been there with this communication is key thing. Because one time he was like, why are you wearing a dress? We're not going out. I'm like, it's a summer dress.
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember that?
I remember that. Okay. Absolutely.
Communication is key.
But so for us, I think that has pushed our relationship going on 35 years is the communication and always changing it up, being spontaneous.
And compromise.
And compromising. Compromise. I know you hook up on the compromise.
Yeah.
It's a communication thing. It's under the communication
It's compromise
circle.
because I could be stubborn. If the other person does not bend when you guys are negotiating.
Wait, first of all.
If the person does not bend and you guys are negotiating, this could wreck the whole relationship. Because it could just make you guys go split. Because if you're not cooperating or,
I guess what you're saying is if you stay quiet, nobody knows it's an issue.
Yeah.
And if you don't really bend.
Because you can communicate and talk, but if you're not saying, hey, I'm not happy with this or I'm not good with this.
Right.
Can we do this, which is a negotiation? It's not going to work.
Okay. I agree. We got 35 coming up, so.
Yeah.
It's, I've bend, you've bend.
Yeah, because I've known relationship where one person in the relationship will not bend. And that could just implode the whole relationship.
Well, I think,
because it's a give and take.
Yeah, I think what happens is, if I had to look at it and see other people's relationships, it's the routine. They get stuck in this routine, and maybe the conversation comes up, but nobody wants to bend because they're so comfortable. It's like the pair of jeans. And then, okay, everybody just says okay. And they keep on going forward.
It's not okay.
Right, absolutely, it's not okay. And they keep on going forward on this path for another 2 years, another 3 years, another 4 years. And maybe within
it could look perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
To everybody on the outside, or even to they're not even catching the red flags because they're just stuck in that same rut and they're comfortable in it, but it's not healthy.
No.
Yeah.
And what happens is they just do their thing. I mean, I'll use an example of when we have our alone time. I could be upstairs playing Warcraft. You could be reading a book or watching something on TV. But we communicate. We know that's our space time. That's our own space. Where that other couple, that is not even
let me give you an example.
That's not even their own space. That is just, I'm going to be over here. Don't talk to me. And you're going to be
I'm going to give a good example. Because we've got 30-something years. But we've had our problems.
Oh, absolutely.
And we've hit the rut. Even during COVID. During COVID, we were like two separate entities in this house.
Well, you had a tough time dealing with COVID.
Yeah, but
and I gave you your space.
Yeah,
I gave you your space. There was no doubt about it. I knew she was just having a difficult time dealing with it.
Yes, I was like, listen.
She didn't want the TV on. She didn't want to see the news.
I didn't want to see the news. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be talked to.
Yeah.
I was up on a different planet.
Yeah.
I didn't communicate. At one point, it seemed like we were going separate ways because I would go to bed whenever I felt like it. I wouldn't talk to him. I was just...
It was hard for her to grasp, I guess.
The whole concept was hard for me to grasp. It was a scary situation, and I didn't implode. I did. I imploded. I didn't explode.
You imploded. So what I did, I went downstairs on this level right here, and for those that are gamers, I played Division.
Yeah,
I replayed
which was even worse. It made it worse for me because I would see him playing this, and it was.
It's a pandemic game which came out in 2016.
It did not help.
So she was like, "Really, you playing that game again?" I'm like, "Okay," and I'm ahead of going. I'm giving you space because you're having a difficult time dealing with this.
Yeah, it was bad.
So for those couple of months, there was no communication.
No communication at all.
I think we spoke a little bit about that, but I realized I'm gonna let her be. And let her drive the truck to,
No, did it make you nervous? Did you think we were going...
No. I just think
it was just the pandemic causing...
I think it was the pandemic. I think it was hard for you to grasp it. We talked a little bit about it. I think as we got into April, it just was really, really tough for you. And I think a little bit probably is I'm a little bit more of an I'm both. I'm always at 50-50. So I could be an introvert and hang out here a couple of weekends.
Yeah.
For you,
I'm not.
You're going to be like, so you were locked in.
Yeah.
There was no walking.
So,
there was no going
it's crazy
outside.
because I live in a house full of introverts. I'm not an introvert. I'm very shy, but I'm not an introvert. I'm not.
No. You have to go out.
And it drove me nuts.
Right. Where for me, I'm a 50-50. I could go out, but I could stay in and appreciate staying inside. Yeah. Which we do balance it because she'll appreciate staying inside also. But to have that where... But I think we're way off the topic, but again,
no, but it's part of the
how we went through it.
Communicating and
I gave you the space. I gave you the space that you needed
to
kind of work that issue out.
How it saved the relationship because
another
person would have been like, "What is wrong with you? Are you cheating? Or you're not communicating?"
No, there's no cheating. I mean, we're locked in the house. I knew it was the pandemic. I'm saying,
things like that.
Other situations, yes, but for us. I just think you were having a tough time dealing with it, and
I was bad.
Yeah, you couldn't go out.
I couldn't go. I would get nasty. I would be argued. I would argue. I was aggressive.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I think it was
because you were like, "Are you all right?"
I would just check. Yeah.
He would come out.
I would just stay down.
I slept on the couch a lot.
I would just stay down here.
Yeah.
I just played the video game. I was like,
This is why we say communication is key because I didn't communicate. I shut down. I just didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to just...
Our first going out outing was McDonald's.
I know. And even at that one, I was like... I was still, I think...
No, I think you needed to go out.
Yeah, but I was
still... I did. I said, let's take a drive.
Yeah.
And we didn't know McDonald's was open. We did it. We saw
it. Yeah.
And we stopped. It was the drive-through only, and we ate it in our car because the photo comes up around that time.
Yes.
And I kind of tagged it like our first time eating out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it solved everything. I think it helped you a little bit just to get out the house, take that drive.
Yeah.
And I guess
because we know couples that ended up getting divorced.
I think there was a lot of couples like that.
Got divorced,
there was couples that had kids. There was couples
I would call my best friend. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. She'd be like, "You okay? You got this." I'm like, I'm gonna kill him.
But I wasn't doing anything to you.
You weren't. I think it was just the whole situation.
I was just downstairs.
Yeah, and it was just the whole situation.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah,
and I just, luckily, I had my best friend to vent to because she'd be like, "Don't hurt him." She'd be like, "He made me glad he's not that bad."
So I mean, when you go back to it, you got to think. What can cause a midlife crisis?
Anything. A pandemic.
It's anything.
A pandemic can cause a midlife crisis.
Right. It could be the pandemic. It could be the bedroom. It could be the same old routine you've been doing for 10 years. It
Lack
could be,
of communication.
No flowers on just Tuesday, which I've done.
He has sent me flowers. I have gotten flowers for no reason. And I'll call him like, all right, what did you do wrong?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just thinking of you.
That just... Those little spontaneous things, we've done it in the past where I say, hey, it's a Tuesday night, let's go into the city.
Yes.
Or let's plan for such and such on a Saturday. So I think you have to keep the routine going.
Yes.
According to your budget. And where you are with your kids. Our kids are a little older now, so they can stay home. And now with Ring technology and all that stuff, you can watch the house and get alerts and all that cool stuff.
Yeah. It works.
It works.
Yeah.
But, I think even with, younger kids, you have to kind of squeeze that moment to go outside. Yeah. That be you going out with your friend or me going out with a friend of mine or us going out together.
Yeah. You just have to keep that communication.
Yeah, you have to keep it.
And talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And talk about everything. There's you talk about everything.
Yeah. Like someone not putting gasoline in my car. You talk about it,
Yeah, like someone having Amazon boxes all over the house.
Yeah, but it smells amazing in this house. All
right,
it just smells amazing.
You have a problem.
I have a problem.
Yeah,
we could communicate about that. No, I think that's I think that's I don't know. Lost my train of thought. I did, but. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it is communication. I mean, it's always going to be
communication. Is always at the top. Communication.
It's in the center or in the top, how you want to put it. But you've got to cover those topics with your partner.
So if you count them off as the top 5 things, what are they?
I
know communication is the top.
No. I think communication is the hub. So what would you talk about is the boredom. If you're bored, you got to communicate.
Well, you got to communicate your boredom. You also got to communicate your.
So when I say boredom, I mean, hey, we don't go out. We haven't done anything. Whatever it is.
Yeah, that you also communicate your finances, because if you hide your finances, that'll cause problems.
Right.
Planning on things to do together.
Yeah, or if it's not going to be plannable. I mean, you set a goal. Mm-hmm. I think first of all, you got to have goals. No matter where you are in your life, that's vacation, buying another house, the garage thing we bought on the wall.
I'll get to it.
Those are projects. Those are goals. Hey, did we get it? No, we didn't get it. Let's not get angry about it. We just didn't have the funds. We thought we did.
Listen, I get yelled at all the time because he tells me to do things, or he'll remind me to research something or take something out for him, and I forget. I blame it on menopause because I get a lot of brain farts. He gets mad at me. He's like, "You always blame me on menopause." Listen, it happens. I get a lot of brain farts now.
All right.
So,
but yeah, I think those are, I mean, like you said, talking about finances. If you're late on a bill and stuff like that,
and you don't tell your other,
speak. Yeah, nobody wants to come home and see the lights are off, or you got a sticker, the sheriff locked you out, or whatever dramatic experience.
Yep.
No cable TV, or your cell phone doesn't work.
Those are things you got to communicate with your significant other.
Definitely don't hide it, because it's gonna come out anyway.
It's another peeve, not peeve, but another thing that you should communicate, because communication, like we said, is a key to solid relationship. So, finances, planning trips, or talking things out.
Yeah. Or goals, like vision board. People, talk about it as a vision board. You can
nagging each other about each other's health. Because if you don't care about your significant other,
right,
then that's a red flag. You want to make sure they stay alive. Right. So you want to irritate them too.
Even bringing home some work, I used to bring it pretty bad. Now I just bring it in.
No.
Yeah,
you don't
it's very light.
Not anymore.
Yeah, like this week is a busy week. I'll say, it was yesterday was stressful. Today was stressful.
Yeah, but you don't do that anymore.
I don't drag it out. No. So. That's a boundary. I think that's a boundary.
Like I said, it's boundaries.
I want to hear a little bit about it, but I don't want to hear about your whole.
Exactly.
Because
don't bring it home, because I don't want to hear the drama.
Right.
Not I want to hear the drama. I don't want the stress that you have at work
to become. There you go.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what it is.
So, that's another one there.
Yeah, I like this topic. It was good. I think what the next topic should be is dating ideas, because we do a lot of going out.
We did talk about date night.
We're talking about date night versus New Jersey and New York.
Yes.
I'm talking about actual specific things.
Okay.
We've done in the past, and what we would think about doing going forward.
I was going to say,
Like, I'll use an example. There's an 80s restaurant in Manhattan. We haven't done it yet.
I know we've been dying to go to, but...
And it's geared to Gen X. So, that's what I'm saying. Topics on... Not just going to Chili's, but making more of it. Like, we didn't go to the wineries before. Now we go to the wineries.
Yes. Well, we've changed our routines.
We changed the routines.
We've matured on our routines.
Comedy clubs.
Yes.
So I think, not to do it here, but in the next podcast is what are dating ideas?
Okay. Well, it's what are dating ideas for your age group? Because younger couples don't do
absolutely.
So we've modified our date nights to suit our age group. Certain things.
Well, I think, yes. Yes. And again, that's the topic for the other podcast.
All right. I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take us out of here.
We've taken enough time out of your day. Right. Follow us on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share, comment below, and give us your opinions on our podcast episodes.
All right. See you out there. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.